Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over a really common problem I see with Lillypilly hedges. Have you come out to your own Lillypilly hedge, or you've rocked up to a client's hedge and noticed that it has been absolutely destroyed and eaten and in poor health? Well, today's video we're going to identify what the cause is and how we can treat it. So let's get into it. Treat it. Now, the main cause of this issue of the leaves getting eaten and the poor health is what's known as the Paropsides Calypso beetle. It's a very tiny little beetle, hypergreen in colour, also commonly known as the Lillypilly beetle, and we do see it come out in the past couple of months here in this winter time through Brisbane. And this is what they do. They come in bulk and they just eat everything. They eat all the leaves and just create the plant to go into a poor, unhealthy state and make it look all thinned out and quite ugly like this. So yes, Paropsides Calypso, or the Lillypilly beetle, as you can see up close now how severe it has gone and eaten all the leaves trying to come through, and of course taking away the leaves off a plant really reduces the chance of the plant staying healthy. Now, this is a common cause and normally misdiagnosed. A lot of people will come out and think that it's the common grasshopper. They've got a bunch of grasshoppers just going through, and that's understandable. Grasshoppers will get onto plants and they will eat them. But this one is no, it's not. It's the Lillypilly beetle. Now, they're also very good at hiding and disguising themselves amongst the foliage. They're about the size of a lady beetle, so very, very small, and they're hyper green in color, which makes them blend into the foliage really, really easily. So yeah, so they blend in and they hide really well. Now, an easy way to see if it is the green beetles is grab the plant and just give it a good shake. And a lot of times you'll see them fall down onto the ground, or they'll fly out, fly around and fly back onto the plant. So that's an easy way to test if it is this green beetle. The other thing is just look really closely at it, pay attention. Look really closely at the foliage. Again, move the foliage around because they do like to hide underneath the leaf so they can't be seen. And then you'll be able to identify that, yes, it's the Paropsides Calypso is the issue on my Lillypilly. Now, I don't know why they specifically only eat Lillypilly hedges. In all my years, I've never seen them on any other plant variety at all. Like your common Moreas here, all that sort of stuff, Lillypilly, Morea, the most common hedge varieties throughout Brisbane. They never attack anything else. It is just Lillypillys. So if you have a Lillypilly hedge, it is definitely something you want to keep an eye on. But anyway, so let's go through the treatments, what your options are, and we'll put a treatment on this plant and start getting rid of these little suckers that keep destroying it. All right, so when it comes to treatments, there's a couple of ways you can treat them. If you're not really wanting to go down more of a too severe chemical route, you can use something like white oil or neem oil. But in my experience over the years, I've tried that many times, and unfortunately, it just doesn't eradicate them. It doesn't get rid of them, unfortunately. If you've got a really mild infestation of them, then yes, maybe you just want to go that route first and see if it works. But 9 times out of 10 when I've done that, it just doesn't get rid of them. So unfortunately, you need to move to something a bit more advanced than that, and that is something known as Yates Advanced. Now, the main ingredient in this, beta cyfluthrin, sorry. So that's the active ingredient in this, and you can see it controls aphids, and these guys are under the aphids umbrella. So you need to move to something a little bit stronger, and I know for sure that I've used in the past that you need to use something like this to really decimate and get rid of the problem, especially when it's that bad on the Lillypilly hedge. So yeah, you need to move to something like this. Now, when it comes to spraying, especially if you're a contractor, you need to check in your state whether you need to be licensed to spray certain type of chemicals out of your business. Now, it's different if you're a homeowner, but when you're a contractor working in the field, just check in the state you live in, on the council area, that you need, whether or not you need to be licensed to spray chemicals. So just keep that in mind if you are in the lawn and garden industry business. But anyway, so yeah, so we're going to put an application of this down today. Now, depending on the severity will depend on whether it will need a follow-up spray. Sometimes, yes, it will need it. Sometimes just the one spray is enough to eradicate them all, and you'll start to see the hedge recover over the weeks to come. But anyway, let's mix up some of this in our sprayer we've got here, and then we'll do an application over the hedge. But anyway, let's top it up, get into it. So just in case you're wondering, for anything like a Lillypilly hedge, if you're treating aphids, it's mixed 2 to 4 mils in 5 litres of water. So 2 to 4 mils of this. Now, if you're doing your first application and you haven't treated before, and there's not a huge amount of aphids on there, then you want to stay on the lower side of that mix rate. So you want to maybe look at the 2 mils in 5 litres of water. Now, when you're mixing any form of a chemical, whether that's pesticides, insecticides, whether that's selective herbicides, etc., don't ever put more than what, I can't stress that enough, don't ever put more than what the label says, okay? If you're using glyphosate, you're trying to kill off weeds, etc., don't add more to think the weeds will die faster or die off faster. They won't. Just stick to the label, do what it says, and you can't go wrong, okay? All right, let's mix this up, get into it. Now, once you've mixed it up and got it in there, just make sure whatever you're spraying with, give it a good shake to make sure it mixes and agitates around so you get an even spray application over the product. Now, with some things like foliages, applying to a foliage, some people like to put a surfactant in there. If you're not sure what a surfactant is, it's basically a slightly thicker lubricant which sticks to the foliage. So something like nutgrass, which is really thin, really fine, and really slippery. It's got a bit of a waxy coating. Sometimes you need something to help the chemical stick to the foliage. Now, I don't generally use a surfactant when I'm spraying this, and over the years, the treatment has worked absolutely fine, but each their own. Use one if you want. Of course, if you're putting surfactant in, you only need a very small amount. So yeah, keep that in mind, but I don't use it. I've found it not necessarily in this circumstance. But anyway, that should be mixed up now. Let's go apply it to the Lillypilly hedge. Now, when it comes to spraying your hedge, you generally want to start from the top, like washing your car. Start on the roof, work your way down. Start on the top, work your way down, and make sure you get an even coverage. Now, when it comes to spraying foliage as well, I find sometimes having the 180-degree fan spray is good for this sort of coverage because you can cover a lot in one spray. This is the Solo 257. Great sprayer. I've enjoyed it. It's one of the professional range in the Solo thing. I have done reviews on the Solo sprayers, so jump back on the channel if you want to see what Solo sprayers are like and my thoughts on them. But anyway, yeah, get yourself a good sprayer and create an even spray over the foliage. Right, just remember too, when it comes to spraying, you don't want to just do the outer coverage. Now these things, again, like I mentioned earlier, they hide under the leaf. So sometimes when you've got your wand, if you've got an extra longer wand like this, you can put it through the plant, into the middle of it, and spray upwards, sideways, all that sort of stuff to make sure you're getting into the inside of the plant, but then also trying to hit the back side of the leaf that you can't see on the front side here. So bear that in mind when you're spraying it as well. That yeah, you get all the inside as well as what you see on the outside. Alright, one thing to mention as well when it comes to spraying anything ever, always check the weather as well. That's something you need to keep in mind. Now obviously you don't want to go out and apply anything down on your lawn or your plants if you've got rain coming in 15 minutes. Another thing to bear in mind is don't spray when it's windy. It's just not ideal because you don't want that sort of chemical or whatever you're applying down blowing to somewhere else and maybe killing that plant or killing a part of the lawn. But bear that in mind. When it comes to spraying, check the weather first to make sure it's not going to be washed out as soon as you apply it or blow off and only some of the plant gets the chemical applied to it. Keep that in mind. Alright everyone, well that's it for today's video. I hope you found it educational and you learned something new out of today's video. Now maybe I've answered the question as to why your Lillypilly hedge or a client's Lillypilly hedge was getting eaten. Hopefully now you've got the answers and know how to treat that moving forward. It is a common problem here in Brisbane on Lillypillys, and hopefully yeah, we've answered that for you at home there. Now if you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing and helping the MoTime channel out. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you're really wanting to sort of not put a chemical down and move forward with a bit more of a natural start, yes, you can try the white oil or neem oil first, but I'm pretty confident that it's not going to eradicate the Calypso bug. You do need to move something into like the advanced that I showed you. That is available at Bunnings. I'll put the price up on the screen. I can't remember how much it is, or mainly from any of your lawn and garden retailers will sell something to treat the Calypso bug. But anyway, I've got to move on to the next client now. As always, I hope you're all doing well mentally and physically. We'll see you all in the next video.